Hi, this is Sarabeth Emet, and it is Wednesday, the 22nd of October. The year is 2025, and it is somewhere after 11 p.m., closer to the hour, but after 11 p.m. And it's been a day. It's been a long day, and I was wanting and needing to find myself, and I decided to do some singing. I was listening to the remainder of a Helen Reddy best of compilation CD, which I had checked out from the library and it's going to expire. So I wanted to listen to it again and I got sort of reconnected, which is what I wanted with my heart. And decided that I wanted to sing because I needed to find myself. Boy, so many there have been a lot of communications. There's been a lot of work. It sounds like there's been a lot of hard work. And once again, I'm facing a grocery store trip this coming Monday. Today is Wednesday, and it's always a hard time the days before. And there's often a great deal of work, and sometimes everything seems to flop. But I know that it's not flop. I know that it's hard work. I know that it's one step in front of the other. I know that it's ongoing and moving, which takes me to this image which I chose. It was given to me in telepathy. Um, did I really post this image? But here I am posting it. It's a picture from a calendar that I keep on my shelf. It's the type of image I could face if I wanted to, but mostly I think I don't see it anymore. And maybe there were the years when I found it and it had so much meaning to me. And then there were the years I wanted to keep it sort of face down or turned away or somewhere on a back shelf where I didn't look at it all the time. And, life can be very painful. Life can be very hard and frightening. And at the same time, I need to stay very strong and I need to, keep myself going. And sometimes there's so much to believe, and some of what needs to be believed is very painful and frightening. And then there are the times when what is to be believed is also very heartening and strengthening. And, you know, um, it's not that there's confusion, there certainly is dichotomy between the two. And to stay strong can mean many things sometimes. So I'll tell you the history of this image. I don't know the artist. I haven't looked it up, but somewhere in the back of my mind is the idea that it's a regular Norman Rockwell. And it's an image that I, have enjoyed. And if perhaps with a little bit of sarcasm, if perhaps with a little bit of mirth, but at the same time, in some capacity, knowing myself and my own strength, I am sometimes plowing the field as best I can. And, here I am up on the John Deere. And I found this image. I found this, it is a small calendar of images commemorating or in celebration of, it is a John Deere calendar. I was living in Santa Rosa, California before the fires. Let's see, I left in like '07, I think it was '06, '07, and might have been '07. I moved to Oakland, California, so that I could work with the Berkeley Adult School. But I had been going to school, studying psychology, and was living in Santa Rosa, California, and the school had its offices located in Petaluma. And I haven't been back to that world. I haven't seen it today. I wish and I hope and I offer wildflowers to them. A wildflower movement, the planting of seeds, is what I wish to anywhere where fire has stricken. To plant seeds, to plant trees, to plant flowers, to plant pumpkins. Sounds good to me. And I had no idea what was coming, for that region and that time. And I actually left California in 2014. I was living in Oakland and in a different apartment. I lived in many apartments there in Oakland, California. And um, it was during a time of drought, 2014. It was late summer. that I left and moved to I moved to Denver, Colorado. And I was there a year and a half before I moved on to live here in Illinois again, where I grew up. Anyway, Santa Rosa, California is country. It was beautiful land, beautiful countryside, neighboring Napa and Sonoma counties, known for wine and beautiful country, beautiful farmland, mountains, and of course the ocean is to the west, and gorgeous, gorgeous land, and John Deere country. And so I can remember one day I was shopping for something at a Barnes and Nobles. I think it was a Barnes and Nobles. Was it maybe a Borders? I don't remember. One of the two. And they had these John Deere items on sale. And like something in me just laughed because I was living in the country. And, California or not, I was out in farmland. And here there was a coffee table book dedicated to the John Deere tractor. This is a tractor. And I thought, wow, people buy a coffee table book on the John Deere. Why not? Why not? And there was a full-size calendar, and then there was the smaller size calendar. And I thought, well, I'm out here, and maybe I'll just pick up the small size calendar to celebrate where I am in this time that I'm living. And I was working and hoping to make profession, but I was not yet able to do so. And, wrong step, but right idea. And I wound up with a non-licensed degree in psychology. So, of course, I don't practice psychotherapy, but I do have a non-licensed graduate degree in psychology. It's a 2-year degree. So I, flipping through the calendar was each month enjoying the celebration of the John Deere tractor, which helps, bring food to the table, saves lives, makes good work for good people. I do believe in American farming and have all sorts of farming plans, which I work to get into the right hands. I believe in native foods, and not only native foods. I believe that, foreign seeds are okay, but I want to help bring all produce, all growing, all manufacturing, everything back to America as a Democrat, as a liberal, and to end foreign trade is what I believe in. I believe in the end of importing and the end of exporting. I believe we can do everything for ourselves. So in support of America, in support of, who and what we are, Americans, and our need and ability to become self-sufficient, I think will grow in time. And it's not to say that we're not aware. So I've been enjoying a little bit this image of myself, which projects onto the camera behind the image of the woman saluting the soldiers as they drive by, as she pulls the fields, as she plows the fields, and remembering, who I was and how I thought of myself, somewhat different today. But I'd say not completely lost. I haven't lost all of that which I once knew to be holy about myself, and all of that which I knew to be strong. When I look at this image, I see a strong woman, and I see her determination, and I see her support, and her belief, her soul, and her heart, and her spirit. And, somewhere I raised a cat with this image. And I may have even raised a second cat with this image because it was an integrated part of myself. I don't know. I know my first cat grew up with this image. I'm not sure about my second. But it was a part of me, as are they still a part of me. I spent the day, I decided to get into a big task, as was said by the goblin terrorists, one of the biggest tasks, one of my biggest house chores, which was to clean and detail the fans which I use, the table fans and the um, electric fans that I use to keep myself cool at this time as my air conditioning is out. I need the right servicemen to help me. And I've been waiting and waiting. And, I believe in hard work, and I believe in love, and I believe in strength. And so I'm keeping going. I'm persevering. And um, I detailed those fans today. I took those fans apart. Those fans which I was able to take apart, I took apart with a screwdriver, and I, cleaned out the inside of the fans, and I detailed as much as I could. I mean, they're not absolutely perfect. They're not like new, but they are good enough and ready for next year if need be. And hopefully I'll have been rescued. Hopefully I will receive the work which I need. And hopefully I will receive there's so much work to do here, both on the outside and the inside of my condo. And I hear every day I have to be ready, not just willing, I have to be, ready and in some ways on guard, but I have to mostly just be emotionally and psychologically and physically ready for the armed men to begin the jobs which are necessary of them to do um, on the exterior outside of my condo. And of course, I do not evacuate. I stay inside, I stay away from the danger, and I have my plans. I've talked about this before. But so I spent the day, I spent a good, it's a number of hours to do the work. I had 5 fans, one large box fan, a smaller box fan, another smaller um, it's a turbo fan. It's round and I can't get it open, but I was working really hard at cleaning the blades. And then I have 2 smaller fans, and those screws won't come loose. And, I was using Q-tips and cloth rags and a chopstick that I use for cleaning to try to, clean these fans because they accumulate dirt and dust and they're yucky and you don't want to turn them on and spread dust all over your home. And thank goodness I have them. I bought them in a time when I did not have any air conditioning. And right now I would have air conditioning, I would have heat. But instead, what I have is electric fans and electric heat. And, you know, I give thanks to be alive. It's good to be alive today. It's good to be alive today. And it's not to complain, but it is to give myself to the hard work of survival. And I give thanks to all those working hard, both on this planet and other planets and out in space. I give thanks to all those people who are working as hard as is necessary and as hard to save their lives, this country, the lives of many countries, the lives of many planets. Somewhere it's all interrelated, is what I believe. And I think we're all working really hard to survive. And yet we also need to know, and I think we do know, that there's hard work ahead of us. So I was being berated and I was in my own, deep meditation regarding women's work and the cleaning of these fans, which I do once a year. And it is one of my largest house tasks. I mean, cleaning the carpets is a big job. I have a carpet cleaner. I don't get down on my hands and knees. I do have a carpet cleaner, and the joke is, as I make it, when I need to do so, you don't want to clean the carpets very often because you pull fibers out of the carpet every time you clean it, and the carpets don't grow. So as you're um, washing that carpet not down the drain, it should catch in the drain catcher. But as you're dumping that dirty water and carpet into the drain catcher, um, that was once carpet. And so you have to work on whether or not to clean the carpets, but that's one of those other really big jobs. I mean, dusting and cleaning, vacuuming, there are all sorts of things that people do to clean their houses. And I was working on these fans today, and I had it in me. I don't always have it in me to do the house cleaning. Some days you have to rest, and some days shape better than others, for some things, for some tasks. And today I thought, yeah, today I think I can do it. Yesterday I exercised, and tomorrow I'll rest. And some days, it's just enough to sit and work on helping to save the world. And, some days I need to listen to love songs, and some days I need to listen to patriotic songs, and some days I need to listen to songs of anger. And there were the days in the past when I used to hold religion and I would listen to songs of prayer. And these days I look for songs of spirit and I look for songs of self. And so I finished the fans. I finished the cleaning of the fans, the detailing. And there was all of this, focus on women's work and men's work. And, what would it be to have a husband? Would I keep the fans? Because maybe he wouldn't want to clean them. And maybe I wouldn't want him to after all of his hard work out in the world. And, what does it mean to save yourself? What does it mean to save others? What does it mean to save the world? What does it mean to work so hard that your life is somehow joined with world peace? And I thought, do you just buy new fans? I don't just have this money. I don't just have the money to buy new fans every year. I don't know. It's probably something like $100, and that's money I would save. That's money I would eat. That's money to put on the utilities better. But that's money to maybe spend at the Goodwill on, birthday gifts. And so I'll clean the fans. And so I'll detail them as best I can. And I've had these fans for over 10 years, these electric fans, which I use, since before I had, so I might have had them 20 years, these fans. 15, 20 years. I might have bought them one at a time. Some of them come apart with screws and you can really get in there with a dust cloth, but others, they don't come apart. And are those the ones to give away? Right. Those are the ones to clean up, give away. Maybe start new if needed. But one day the one day the air conditioning will work again. One day I may have a husband. That's the idea. And that's the love. And so I work hard to stay strong, and I work hard to stay together, and I work hard to stay in the right place, on the right feet, in the right heart, or the right mind. And I want to say hello to Buffalo, and I want to give him thanks for his hard work, and I want to give him thanks for all of his support, keeping me straight. And helping me to make each day, and to make each day forward one day at a time. And I look forward to seeing him. And I look forward to making life and real life and overcoming all of this time of hardship. So, I was singing with Helen Reddy. I almost got into some other love songs, but this song, which if I were asked, I would probably say, no, I'm not going to sing that song, but here I am recording it. And, it stood well, it lined up well, it was just the right song. You and I Against the World. Helen Reddy, 1974. Tell me again, love. You and me against the world. Sometimes it feels like you and me against the world. When all the others turn their backs and walk away, you can count on me to stay. Remember when the circus came to town and you were frightened by the clown? Wasn't it nice to be around someone that you knew, someone who was big and strong and looking out for you? And me against the world, Sometimes it feels like you and me against the world. And for all the times we've cried, I always felt that someone was on our side. And when one of us is lost, and one of us is left to carry on, then remembering will have to do. Our memories alone will get us through. Think about the days of me and you and me against the world. And when one of us is lost, and one of us is left to carry on, then remembering will have to do. Our memories alone will get us through. Think about the days of me and you and me against the world. Much love and great thanks. Looking forward to all the goodness, looking forward to all of the goodness which is to come. Much love, Sarabeth Emet.